Welcome to Igniting Inspired Inquiry, a space for real conversations with incredible humans. I'm your host, Jay, and I'm here to open the door to reflection, resonance, and revelation. If you have a moment to like, share, subscribe, or review, I would deeply appreciate you sharing the love. This is a space for truth, trust, and the kind of insight that comes from simply being human. Thank you for being here. Let's begin. I'm so excited to share this guest with you today, and so excited about what might come through, because when we have our combos on other stuff, it's like, what the
Yeah.
the magic appears. So I'm really excited to share that with others, and to share you, and to share what you do with others, which is just really special. So today we have the incredible Brittney dialing in, and I wanted to hand it over to you. For those who are listening, viewing, however they're receiving this, who is Brittney?
Such a loaded question.
It's
Who
juicy,
is,
right?
who is Brittany right now?
Mm.
Compared to who Brittany was like 2 years ago. Brittany has evolved. I really like this third person right now.
Yes.
Who I am is I am formerly known as a psychic, intuitive, incredible healer, mentor, all of the things. But what I've really stepped into is just understanding who I am without all of that.
Mhm.
And I also recognize that just so many times we get so fixated on identity. I've been learning to kind of be like, okay, well, who am I actually underneath all of this? And it's so interesting because I feel like I am just a conduit of incredible energy and also architecting really incredible destinies for people too. So I really play in the world of the spiritual and the 5D, and I also really bring it all into this grounded like 3D knowing. And through all of that, I'm fun. I love my horse. I ride my horse as many times as possible during the week. And I love simple life. I just like get me on the farm, get me on the land, let me be by the beach, and let me just have my simple pleasures. That's who I am. And all of that
Mm.
allows me to be so deeply in my mission, allows me to be so deeply in my purpose. And it's really interesting because I created a framework that allows me to understand who I really am and what I'm here to do. So
Mhm.
now I'm just like fully giving myself to that. And byproduct is everything just organically keeps expanding and evolving, and it's bloody delicious. So that's who I am today.
Yes, bloody delicious.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I mean, it speaks to my soul as we're dialing in from my little cottage in the countryside, where I can see the birds and the trees and the animal. Like I feel you. The simplicity of life
Yeah.
is just so grounding. And when I first got here, it was like plant your seed, plant your feet so you can grow. And I just really
Mm.
feel that, and I'm feeling that and what you're sharing.
Oh my God, big time. Because before this, like I had my $1 million business and I'm like high flying, 5-star travel, doing all of this, yada, yada, yada. And then I went through my own breakdown and reevaluation of life, which was
Hmm.
all just the biggest initiation of my soul's purpose. And then it's just like, oh fuck, I don't actually, am I allowed to swear? Soz, I am.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
and in all of that, it's just like, oh wow, do you know what? None of that actually ever matters. It was all
Hmm.
this. And now
Hmm.
like finding that deep satisfaction and joy in like the everyday rather than having to go do something, create something, be someone that then
Hmm.
fed in the joy. Now it's just like, no, it's just like in the simplicity and it's so nourishing and it's so delicious and just so yummy.
Yep, yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
All
I
that.
agree.
Yeah.
So now we get to dial into question number one, the common
Mm,
thread,
mm,
which is, what's one moment, experience, or belief that changed the way you see the world?
mm. Well, it's really interesting because it was 2 years ago in 2024, and it's not going to be a belief that you think I would share, but I was just starting to get really sick and the brain fog was real. And it was almost like I kept on being like asked to step into even more to my purpose, into the arena. But I was just like, something was going on, and I was just like, I can't do this. And I just remember being here in my office on my hands and my knees on the floor. And I just said, I'm no longer certain I can do this. And that belief completely changed the trajectory of my life and initiated me
Mm,
in such a huge way that I literally was just saying, it's like, I can't do this. Take it all away. Take it all away. I can't deal with the pressure. I can't deal with what it is. Just take it all away. And well, spirit, angels, God stripped
mm,
everything. I got more sick. I got more burnt out. And everything that I was once certain of became so uncertain. And then therefore it became certain I couldn't do it. And
mhm,
from that, everything changed. And my entire business fell away. I ended up in so much debt. I was putting on weight in rapid speeds. Like I
mhm.
put on like 10 kgs in a matter of 6 weeks, but it didn't make
Wow.
sense. And I
No.
was going to the doctor and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. This isn't me. What the heck? But it's just like, I literally got stripped of every piece of my identity that I
Mhm,
had accessed of me being like really hot and beautiful and like really feeling myself after having to fight for like my body image all these years and my really successful business and all of this money and all of the things. And the biggest belief was I was certain I couldn't do it anymore. And so
mhm,
therefore reality bent and showed me that, okay, sure, you can't. And then
mhm,
it was this huge, profound initiation into fully reestablishing who is Brittney?
mhm.
Who is Brittney without all of that, right? And
Mm,
through all of that, I didn't realize it at the time, but it was the hardest months. The last 2 years have been like the hardest 2 years of my life. And in all of that, though, it initiated me into my now body of work, how I'm like, holy crap. Manifestation is just one aspect. And yeah, sure, we have the law of certainty, act as if, assume the identity, be in the vibration of what you're wanting to call in, be like act as if like it's already happened and all of the things. But really, the biggest key to unlocking your reality and unlocking your potential is certainty. Because when you
mhm,
aren't fully certain and convicted in a reality, therefore you will be shown the evidence of that. And I actually spent the last 15 months dismantling consciously manifestation. I spent the last 15 months completely consciously dismantling the illusion of manifestation. And I love manifestation. I love spirituality. I love all of that. But I realized in a beautiful way, it had opened up everyone's potential for more and realizing that we could be the creator of our reality. And I have so much respect for that. However, what ends up happening is people level up but get trapped in this cycle of trying to become. They get trapped in this cycle of trying to receive, and they get trapped in this cycle of where to from here. And so, in this law of certainty, which then has evolved into what I call quantum inevitability, where I'm pairing science and physics with like the metaphysical and the energetic side, when we actually
mhm,
bridge these two worlds, I literally have been able to establish a really cool framework which creates results in this beautiful way. But we don't have to always be on this like hamster wheel of what's this inner child wound that I need to do? What's this over here? And it's allowing us to find simplicity back in just creating with life
mhm.
and refinding our certainty. So that was the biggest, most life-changing belief was that I was just not certain anymore. And so
Mhm.
everything was taken. And from there, I've rebuilt everything in a really beautiful, conscious, collaborative way and really researched so much of like our neural growth factors and how we can actually really seamlessly work with certainty and then amplify it all with our healing journey and all of the things. But if we come back to certainty and we're auditing our certainty, everything else becomes this beautiful conduit of creation as opposed to another thing you have to do. Because, at one stage, like my morning routine was like fucking 3 hours long. And I'm just like, come on now.
Yeah.
And it's like our full-time job is like making sure our energy is right. And then we get to create. And it's like, yeah, to an extent, but it's like I ended up getting just so brought down by it all. And
Mm-hmm.
also then
Mm-hmm.
like leveraging and pedestaling your success against like, oh, this is how we do it and yada, 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 right? And so
Mm-hmm.
now through that belief, I've been able to just fully reevaluate life. And now I help all my clients with this too. And it has honestly been life-changing.
Yeah, I feel that.
Mm,
There's a piece there that I understand about certain, like the time spent in certain practices and all of that is like,
mm,
I've seen for myself and for other people is like the moment something doesn't go right, then you're like reassessing everything
mm,
you did
mm,
and basically saying, what am I not doing enough of because this isn't happening? And
mm-hmm,
it's like it does it's not that's not the way.
mm-mm,
And that's what I felt and that's what I hear. But also what I love about what you're sharing is the authentic design for you
mm.
because there's a lot of information, there's a lot of tools, there's a lot of resources out there saying this is the one way. And if you
Yeah,
do it this way,
yeah,
and I don't believe that's true for anything, whether it's diet, manifestation, movement,
yes,
you name it. Like it's
yeah,
just, there isn't one way.
yeah. And also, exactly. Because off the back of the law of certainty and quantum inevitability, reality bends to those who know, but
Hmm.
you have to know who you actually are, right? And
Hmm.
that's
Yep.
then what how I developed a aspect of my work called divine design, where I break down astrology and numerology to be able to overlay the two so it becomes this like manual to your life where it becomes so
Hmm.
undeniable as to who you are. Because what happens is we get an astrology reading, we get a birth chart reading. It's like, oh, yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. Then you'll go do human design. Oh, yeah, that's really cool. Amazing. You'll go do numerology. Oh, yeah, that's really cool. You like pick these moments where it's just like, oh, yeah, I really resonate with that. But with divine design, it actually overlays and tessellates all of these modalities. So you really fundamentally know who you are because
Hmm.
you actually end up orchestrating a reality that's not true to you if you don't know who you are. And that's also
Agreed.
why my life completely exploded because it wasn't just
Hmm.
that I wasn't certain. I was borrowing other people's blueprints. I was being
Yes.
like, right, they said that this is what I need to do, so I'm going to do it. Then I found
Mm.
out why it wasn't working for me because it was completely against the authentic essence of my design. And it's like, no
Hmm.
wonder why I ended up burning out. So
Yes.
when we pair certainty with understanding undeniably who we are, reality bends and
Uh-huh.
it reorientates around us. And it's
Hmm.
so interesting too, because like we always hear the saying, it's just like, have your glow up, really be you, like really, just be you in all of the expressions and all of the things. But for a lot of us, like we've gone through so much trauma and like we've had to condition ourselves and mask ourselves. And yes, like we heal and try and figure out like which is a mask and which is actually me. But when you have this like manuscript of your soul, you actually find permission to soften into
Hmm.
the architecture of who you are. And so therefore you get to create with that. So yeah,
Agreed.
what you're saying,
Yeah.
amen, sister. Amen.
Yes. I hear that. And also what I hear is like even in the perspective of like have your glow up,
Mm.
some people will be measuring themselves as to what that needs to look like instead of it being yours.
Mm-hmm.
And what and I think that's what I love about is aligning the different modalities or the different constructs and like really seeing sort of what it is authentically for you because even in your astrology or even in your human design we're a weave of all of those things so
Amen.
that each piece is limited
Mm.
in
Mm-hmm.
itself and
Mm-hmm.
so but I think that in saying that, like having those sessions and learning more about that as I've gone along has helped me develop my own internal alignment and excited that I actually have my divine design done and I get to
Yes.
explore that very soon. And I'm so excited about that because it really resonates because I have come away from those sessions, also those individual sessions, being like,
What do I
yes,
do with
but
this?
also, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's overwhelming and
Mm.
it's doesn't really give me the tools to go
Hmm.
forward with. It's like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, some of those pieces click, and oh yeah, wow, that's really resonates. But what do I do with it?
100%. It's just like, this is great information.
Hmm.
Now what? And
Now
that's,
what?
yeah, and like, cool. Awareness is key, but awareness without integration and activation
Action,
through
yes.
action, it's
Hmm.
then nothing. You still then spiral in the same reality.
Hmm.
And I actually, because of that, like I'm only one person. I can only coach so many people at one given time, but I end up developing a AI server where you're able to then like see what's happening in your life through your design as well, to be like,
Hmm.
oh, that's why I'm struggling here. And
Hmm.
that's why it's like orbiting around me, because this is a soul recognition pattern that's linked to this. So it's like, okay, so what do I need to do here? How can I actually generate momentum and action here to create a difference? And it's like, cool, well, because of this and because of this, blah, 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 here's your action.
Hmm.
And it's like, then you get to use your human component of discernment and intuition and be like, what's true for me? What feels
Hmm.
really good? But when we have all of this intelligence at our fingertips, we become overwhelmed and then we shut down, we don't do anything, and we go on to the next thing, hoping that
Yes.
that's going to be the thing that provides us the clarity that we need, right? And
Hmm.
then maybe you'll get some clarity and then you'll be like sitting with it and whatever. And then you'll wait until the next thing pops up and like, that sounds really cool. But what ends up happening is like we get distracted and we end up diluting our life force because it
Hmm.
ends up being projected onto all these other people to be like, you have my answer. You
Hmm.
have my
Oh
answer.
yeah.
But really,
Yes.
it's already here. And you just have
Uh-huh.
to look at it.
That's it. And nobody else has your answer. And if anyone's telling you that, walk away.
Yeah.
I feel really strongly about that
Yeah.
because like we're here as guides, and this is what I believe is to
Mm,
help you find your way in your own discernment and
mm,
your own actions and inner responsibility and your
mm,
alignment. And there isn't one way. No
mhm,
one else has got the answers for you, but they
mhm.
can help you find them. And that's where what
Yes.
I also hear is like when you receive something like that with your divine design, it's like that can help you highlight your limitations. And then, yes, with some of those, you may need help to stretch or dissolve to move
Mm,
through those
mm,
because it's not just about understanding where they are.
mm.
Some of them need to be cleared.
Yeah. It's not your fault, but it's your responsibility to clear it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah, so true. Yeah. Okay. In the moment, question two.
Hmm.
This came through for me as you were speaking. Um, with everything that you've shared and the work that you do,
Mm,
in terms of helping people find their own divine design and helping people find their authentic internal alignment,
mm,
what's your greatest fear with the way things are unfolding?
mm.
And not necessarily in your divine design, but in the spiritual world or in the
Ah,
manifestation world.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, where do I go? Where do I start? My greatest fear in terms of like the manifestation industry and self-development industry is everyone is so hungry to level up and they want to make more money. They want to really provide for their family. They want to have $1 million business, or maybe they don't. They want a six-figure business or something like that. And my greatest fear is, and this is also why I developed what I've done, is that people bypass the truth of themselves and they get so deeply influenced by ego and what's possible, it keeps them completely distracted from their destiny. And then they're missing huge opportunities to work within their realm and their truth and their destined path. And what I mean by this is there is a beautiful person, and I have so much respect for her and what she's delivering in the world. However, in saying that, she really highlights a huge 5D expansion. And we love that. I love being activated in the 5D and like having big businesses and being fully in your mission. But there's some really dangerous talk around like you are your greatest investment.
Mm-hmm.
You are. However, we still live in a 3D world where we have to still take care of our long-term sustainability, our long-term success. And
Mm-hmm.
there was one time that I literally heard this person say, I'm so glad I never invested in property and that I've always invested in myself because now I make 7 figures in 10 days. And it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
whoa, that is so dangerous. That's so dangerous
Mm.
because people are so turned on by those vanity metrics that they, first of all, it's powerful because it expands them to think there is more for them in this lifetime. I love that. But then what can happen is people get so excited by what could be possible that they're willing to sign their life away to something that is a pipeline, a pipe dream, where it's like, oh, well, I can do this, I can have this. And then you get like 10 years down the track, 15 years down the track, 20 years down the track, but they haven't really looked at like leveling out a sustainable approach to life. And that is actually my greatest fear that people are trying to go after something that wasn't actually inherently theirs. So, going after a 7 figure business that isn't actually inherently in their soul, going after a really successful job when really what they're actually supposed to be facilitating is something so different. So, my
Mm-hmm.
greatest fear is that people are just so distracted and turned on by these possibilities that they actually forget to truly listen to what's beneath it. And that's also why creating the divine design allows me to show people the path of their progression of where they can go if they want to. And sure, on that path, if they're still wanting like really big businesses, big cash flow, making huge impact and all of the things, I love that. But it has to be part of your soul's mission, not manufactured. And there's so much manufactured manifestation where people are just getting lost and distracted. And that's actually my biggest fear that people will
Mm-hmm.
be at the end of their like 20 years down the line and be like, I've been trying to do all of this and I still like nothing's fully stabilized. It's because it wasn't necessarily meant to.
Mm. Out of alignment with who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I hear is a couple of words like just vibrating at me is like more. It's just chasing
Mm-hmm.
and chasing more.
Yeah. But
And
then,
and it's not that that success and that expansion isn't good
mm,
as long as it's in alignment with what's right for you. Are you doing
mhm,
it for you and for what's really driving your
mhm,
like
mhm,
your soul and your purpose, or are you doing it because you feel like that's what needs to happen in order to
mhm.
fit?
Yeah, exactly. And on that, it's really interesting because you've replaced hustle with a sense of vibrational frequency uplifting, right? Where it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, no, like
Mm-hmm.
I just need to raise my vibration and do all these things and go for it because I can. But really, it's
Mm.
actually it's just another version of hustle and it's just another version of you being stuck in a matrix that isn't going to really like, yeah, you will absolutely change the baseline of your life. There is no doubt
Mm.
about that. But at what cost,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
right? At what
Yes.
cost?
100%. And my question there is like, are you having fun?
Yeah.
Like, are you enjoying this human
Mm,
experience?
hmm. Yeah.
Because that's
Do,
what we're here for, right?
yeah. And do you know what's so funny? That's when I look back at it now and I can see I'd be like, oh yeah, I probably should have picked up on this when that person asked me. But my partner at the time, he was like, you don't have any other hobbies. Your hobby is just your business and doing these things.
Mm.
I'm like, why would I want to do anything else? I love it. Like, I love helping people. I love doing all of these things. But I was just so obsessed with being like, I can fucking do this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
bring it to me. I forgot how to live life. I
Yep.
literally forgot how to live life. Yes, I was
Yeah.
going for nice, bougie restaurants and nice travel experiences and all of those things. And I had all of the things designer. But again, at what cost? I was forgetting how to live
Mm.
life
Mm-hmm.
because I
Yes.
was so just like influenced by what other people were like telling me and I could do it. And it's like, yeah, I could do it. You can do
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want, but that success will always collapse because it was never yours to hold.
Mm. I agree.
Mm,
Yeah. And what I feel like is missing in that is connection and community and like all
Yeah.
those things that we are
Mm.
innately wired
Amen.
to thrive in.
Yeah. Yep.
And here we
Absolutely.
are in our simple life. I feel that too because I had a really similar experience with identity as well. It's like
Mm.
everything was stripped away, and I was like, "Well, who the fuck am I without that?" Like,
Mm-hmm.
and who am I without needing to be needed? Like,
Mm-hmm.
ah! And that was actually one of the most uncomfortable parts of my life,
Yeah.
but the biggest areas of growth.
Exactly. Exactly. And identity, right? In the
Hmm.
construct that we've been like, um, I don't know, recognizing in the personal development space is assuming the identity of the person that has it. But
Hmm.
really, it's like the identity of who we always were without everything
Hmm.
is the most magnetic thing that you could ever do for yourself.
Agreed.
Mm,
And that's one of the reasons why this podcast is alive, is because we have such deep wisdom within ourselves, and it's in the
mm,
sharing, it's in the connection, it's being open to what's true for us,
mm-hmm,
despite whether that fits with anyone else. But
mm,
understanding that the more we do that, we actually fit with more people.
yeah, yeah.
Fit, belong, connect, and it's such a powerful thing. But the other reason, the motivation behind the podcast was that, we find our own answers in our own way, and that
Mm,
is what guides us. And we do that in being in the listening of what sparks us. Like, so there'll be
mm,
things that people have heard today from you that really sparks them. So you
mm,
grab that thread and you inquire within,
mm.
and you lean into the curiosity of that, and you see where it takes you. There's nothing to fix, there's nothing to force. You just wander with it.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I love it.
Ah, yes. So it's your turn.
Ah,
Question three.
yep,
You have a question for me.
I do.
Uh-oh.
I want to know, when was the last time you were so certain of something and what happened?
When was the last time I was so certain of something and what happened? I What comes to mind is my the retreats that I am part of,
Ah,
and the medicine that we work with.
mm-hmm.
And so certain as in terms of the universe, when the synchronicities align and the universe just kind of like, you're plopped there and you're like, wow, and you're present to it and you're seeing it and you're like, okay.
Mm, mm,
That's the first like certainty to me.
yeah.
It's like when things just, and it just feels
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm plopped in this place and I'm receiving this retreat and this medicine, and I'm like, wow, I think this is where I'm meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then stretching myself and and asking, which was a little bit uncomfortable because I'm used to the invite, and then I got the invite, which was really funny. But then seeing where we've gone with that in terms
Yeah.
of we as in being the team of facilitators that we are, and really leaning into the integrity of each other, integrity of the medicine, and
Mhm.
the like, and for me, the certainty around like, this is what these are my non-negotiables in terms of how I want to hold safe space. These are my, and having that received. So that
Yeah.
was some more certainty,
Yeah.
and knowing that these things were clicking despite the discomfort, or despite
Mhm.
the slightly awkward conversations, but I don't see them as that because they need to happen.
Mm.
And then seeing what comes from it. And to that
Absolutely.
certainty, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, so hearing that, you became certain in the facilitation and receiving of it, and then therefore reality bent to you in
Hmm.
providing the connections and providing the opportunity and providing the integrity with the right people. So again, it was synchronicity of all of these moments, but it was actually your certainty that then allowed you to be able to be in that discomfort, to ask for what you need. And then,
Hmm.
therefore, again, reality bent to you to deliver. And
Hmm.
so, if you see that as evidence of just how powerful certainty can be, then you can continuously be in the conviction of it now. And that conviction is creating then the action that needs to come thereafter too. So if
Mm-hmm.
everything is looked through that lens, and when you look at your divine design and see how, oh, I was always meant to do this, it
Mm-hmm.
becomes facts to your soul. And what happens is we are emotional beings, right? And the best antidote actually to diffusing or diluting a hysterical response, because right, we're always trying to come into safety and we're having to regulate ourselves about, I can do this, I'm ready to be seen. When we're in that heightened emotional state of can I, can't I, this is really cool, but oh my gosh, what else can happen? How you counterbalance that energy is through facts. And the facts are you were always meant to do this because it's in your divine design through numerology, through astrology. It's all overlaid. And so you can like have this like deeper rest and surrender and knowing that it's like, I don't have to convince myself of safety because it was already inherently embedded into me. And so you can just keep on amplifying the certainty and be like, all right, well, I'm so fucking certain that this is exactly where I'm supposed to be, exactly what I'm here to do. And show me what else can happen.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And I think, like, as you share that, and even when you were speaking on certainty before, there's no greater certainty than the trust in yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And
If you
that's
don't,
where it all starts.
yeah.
Like building the best possible relationship that you can with yourself.
Hmm.
And no matter whether there's certainty in the external world, if you have certainty in you being able to figure it out, certainty
Hmm.
in your capacity and your capability,
Hmm.
you're there.
Amen.
And
And
it's so special.
it is special. And also, given the time that we're in right now, where things actually feel uncertain
Mm-hmm.
and it feels really big, in what I've researched and how I've developed certainty, it's actually there's never such thing as uncertainty. It's either
Mm-hmm.
you're certain of a negative outcome or you're certain of a positive income. Positive income, positive outcome, sorry. Oh, we love
Whoa.
positive income. Like, hell yeah, baby. Like, rain it down on me.
Yeah, yes,
But
yes.
when we are observing reality, we are allowing our beliefs, the conditioning that we've come from, to influence whether or not it is going to be a positive or a negative experience. So,
Agreed.
right now, what we are doing is we're observing the world through a lens of certainty that actually stipulates that it's going to be really shit, that it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be really hard. And guess what? The reality can exist where it is going to be a bit harder. There's going to be, moments where your cellular life may need shifting and changing, but in that you can still be certain of your capability. You can still be certain of your ability as well to
Mm-hmm.
increase your capacity for earning. You can still be certain in your mission. And it's actually now more than ever that it's like, I need you to be so fucking certain of your mission
Yep.
because we need you when
Yes.
the world is so dark. We
Mm-hmm.
need you. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to look at what's happening around the world and the politics and like, it's been a lot to be and just witnessing it all of it and seeing it like hurting our wallets and whatnot. But it's like that can be true. And also, you can be so certain that you're always provided for. You can be so certain that money is always wanting to show up. And it's
Yep.
time for you to audit your own certainty so that you can actually co create a better life within this. And I've
Mm-hmm.
seen this play out, right? In 2020, when the dreaded C word happened,
Mm-hmm.
whatever was present in 2020 for you, it's going to be like this opportunity in this year to be like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I know how to handle that, so I can handle this. What did I do really well in 2020? What was the
Yes.
greatest lessons and learnings? And then implement that version and amplitude of certainty. And you've now given yourself an even bigger roadmap to success through this year.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
Mm.
That's beautiful. And I think that also I agree with you in terms of we need that lens of opportunity, like because no matter what goes on in the world, there is an opportunity for growth, there's an opportunity for change,
Hmm.
there's an opportunity for leveling up or not, if that's in
Mm.
alignment with you.
Yeah.
Um, But again, coming back to that certainty of self, and what I also hear is in the negative mindsets about what could unfold
Mm.
in this current state, is that we're forgetting who we are and what matters.
Yeah.
And whatever change happens doesn't necessarily mean that's bad.
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
if you need to connect with more people and there's more community and you need to grow more things and you need to do that, it's like that is not a bad thing. I actually see
Amen.
that as a really good thing.
Absolutely.
If you
It's
need to be self-resourced and if your model or version of the way life needs to look gets to shift,
what a blessing.
amazing.
Yeah. Amen.
Yes. So good. Ah, thank you for that question.
You're welcome.
So
Anytime.
when now we get to flow into, and this is what I love, but people will be inspired what they're hearing from you. So I want to take a moment to share, if you can share, and you've shared a little, but like
Mm.
in directly, how can people connect with you and how can people
Mm.
work with you?
Well, actually,
Yes.
I just announced yesterday that I'm coming to New Zealand, to
Yes.
Queenstown on the 30th, no, 9th of May. I am running a 1 day workshop for 30 people only. And this is the boardroom for structure. This is the
Mhm.
boardroom to be in that self-realized potential and really build wealth and success that doesn't collapse. Because that's the biggest thing. We want stability, we want sustainability. And
Mhm.
so this workshop that I'm hosting in New Zealand and Australia is called Inevitability by Design. And so
Mhm.
it's really being able to architect your soul and to see how you can actually build out a business, build out a life, build out your finances in a way that won't collapse ever again because it is so, so, so aligned to who you are. So I'm actually coming to New Zealand. So the tickets are now live. And
Yay.
outside of that, I do have my Instagram and also my podcast, Empire
Mhm.
by Design. So we can see the theme here. Everything is by
Mhm.
design through your divine
Yes.
design. When you understand it, when you get to like really sink your teeth into it, you get to then architect a really beautiful life. So those are the ways in which you can connect with me. And
Yes.
because I am coming to New Zealand, talk about certainty, guys. Like the way in which that this is completely opened up and unfolded has been wild. It has been
Mhm.
so synchronistic and so easy. Where like when I was first starting to play with the idea at the end of last year, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm really, really shit scared. I'm not gonna lie. Oh my gosh. The effortlessness that has come from it and everything just is just like working out. I'm like, wow, I'm so destined to be here. It's actually
Yes.
insane. So
Yes.
if anything in this interview and this podcast episode sparked anything, I really hope to see you in the room. I would
Mhm.
highly, highly suggest that.
Yes. I would too.
Yeah.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you so much for stepping into this inquiry. And I'm
Anytime.
already excited for where we take it next time.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's expand it, baby.
Yes, and beautifully aligned, and even in timing of you arriving here, and when this podcast comes out, and the
Mm.
information around that, and just yes, 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 yes. Um, for those who are inspired by what Brittney is sharing, just dial in, tune in with her, and see where that takes you. And I recommend that.
Thanks, Jane. Thanks for having me. It's been an
Oh my
honor.
gosh. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you so much. And to all those of you who are listening, let this be a guidance system for you to inquire within and be curious and maybe explore where you're certain.
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.